about importance of social studies. What is meant by social studies? Social studies is all about knowing about the citizens of a country, knowing about the country and its history, about the citizens and even the government systems of a particular country. This is completely different. The social studies differ from one country to another country. Every country has its unique way of history, unique way of its geographical locations and all these factors. Now I'll go into this topic. It basically gives us an idea about the country, that means the citizens, about the government systems. Citizens means the people who are living in it. Okay. Next comes the government system, whether it is a parliamentary system, whether it is a presidential system, whether it is having a democracy or not. All such things we will be learning in social studies. And next comes about the history. History talks about the previous events, means it's like the past events which has taken place in order to develop the country. And next comes the geography. Geography clearly gives us the physical features of a particular country and what kind of resources it is having, and also about the geographical locations. Mainly geography talks about the map of a particular country. As I told you here in social studies, it differs from country to country. Even the geography of a country also differs from country to country. And next comes the civics. Civics is a very important factor. Why? Because in which the citizens live, in which the citizens develop, and the livelihood of a particular country is mainly focused on. So next point is, it clearly tells us about our ancestors. It clearly tells about our ancestors. Ancestors means who? They are the people who have the past generations of our country. So we'll be basically knowing our ancestors, what kind of civilization they have used, and what kind of techniques they have used, technologies they have used in order to develop. As we all know, we people came from a monkeys to a civilized person. All this process has happened from generations to generations. That is what we'll be learning in this history, in this social studies. And the civilization patterns, we all know we have different civilizations in India, which is Harappan civilization, as well as we also have Indus Valley civilization, which is most predominant civilization in our country. This Indus Valley civilization mainly gives us the traces of urban civilization. It is the main source for the urbanization of our country, and also about the heritage of our country. Heritage means about the previous monuments. We have Taj Mahal, Agra, Red Fort. So these are all the monuments. These are different historical places or sites in our country. And also about the political science. Means political science is all about how we are forming the government. What are the rights of the people? What kind of rights a citizen is having? All such things we will be learning in this political science. So next, I'm moving on to the next one. Now I'm little going deeper into the subject. What are the factors that are affecting social studies? Basically, what are the factors mainly affecting the social studies? So social is being many factors. Means like social is being dependent on different factors. That's why it is called as multidisciplinary. It is called as multidisciplinary. What is meant by multidisciplinary? Means as it is basically dependent on many kind of factors. That's why it is called as multidisciplinary. So in social studies, it mainly the factors which are getting influenced are geography, economy, archaeology, political sciences, psychology, sociology, anthropology, and history. Okay, so as I told you in the previous previous one, geography. It clearly gives us the physical features. What is like the physical features of a country? Okay, let us take an example of our India. Physical feature of a country, India, is mountains, northern plains, yes, Deccan Plateau, coastal lines. All this comes under physical features. How it is being surrounded, at which latitude it is lying, all such is covered in geography. And next comes the economics. Economics is all about the financial status of a particular country. It is very important factor, and it is having a great pressure on the management right now, because economy of a country is mainly known for the development country. If the economy is good in a country is called as a developed country. Okay, so this economic factor plays a very vital role in maintaining the status of one country. So for creating economy, first we have to know what kind of resources we have, what kind of productions we can make out of our resources. Okay, how to use the resources in a right manner and how to make wealth out of the resources. Wealth out of the resources means what? Many people will think. Suppose we have coal mines. We are making wealth out of it. We are making money out of it. We have many kind of Gulf countries are having this one, like oil refinery companies. What they are making? They are making money out of the resources what they have. So the coal mines, the gold mines, or the crude oil, all these are the basic resources what we have. From that we are making money. So this money need to be maintained in a right manner in order to develop the country in a proper format. Okay, next comes the archaeology. What is meant by archaeology? So what is meant by archaeology and what is meant by anthropology? Now I am going to tell you the difference between, so many people have the confusion between archaeology and anthropology. Now I am going to tell you clearly what is the difference between archaeology and anthropology. First, archaeology is the study of human society. It is the kind of society our ancestors used to be. Means kind of civilization we used to have. And also it studies about the culture of that particular civilization. Okay, Harappan civilization has one type of culture, whereas Indus Valley civilization has another kind of culture. But here in anthropology, it is all about study of the human race underneath the ground. Means whatever items, means here in anthropology they mainly know the history of the country through digging. Means we will be digging the earth and whatever things which are available underneath the ground, whatever items we are going to get from the ground, from that we are going to learn about the history. So there is a difference between anthropology and archaeology. Archaeology is all about what? It is study of social society, about human society or human civilization during the past life and their culture. But here anthropology is all about the study of different human races which is present in our country by digging the earth, by knowing the items, by getting the items from the earth sources. That is called as anthropology, which has left. We see like many people, many times we'll be hearing about we have got the monuments, copper monuments. Yes, different gold mines, gold also from the underneath the earth. That is studied by anthropology. Okay, where our ancestors used to use. Okay, those jewelry is used by our ancestors, or any kind of materials or different kind of pictures. All these are available under the earth. That is called as anthropology. And next comes the sociology. Sociology is all about what is meant by social being. Our humans are called as a social being. Okay, social being is nothing but to mingle up with different people. How we are dealing with different people, what are the problems that we are facing in our country, and how we are solving it. All that we are going to learn in this sociology. And next comes the political sciences. Political sciences is all about, we'll be learning about the system of government. What kind of system of government we have, what kind of pattern we are following, whether it is a voting system, whether it is a presidential system, or a direct nominations. All such things we'll be learning in this political science. Political science is a very vast subject where people are involved. Mainly in political sciences, it deals with the democracy of a country. And next comes the psychology. Psychology is mainly focusing on the mindsets of a particular citizens. Okay, particular people basically. So psychology plays a very vital role, and now in the present days, as we are into a nuclear families, psychology plays a very vital role. The mindset of a person, the attitude of a person is very influences the present future of the country. So now let's continue. So now we came to know what are the factors it is affecting, means how the social studies is a multidisciplinary and what are the factors it is affecting, and all these things we have learned here. So now let us know about, so as I told you, the factors which are influencing differs from one country to another country. Means every country has its unique geographical patterns, unique economic factors, everything. Now let us know about our country, that is India, because we are the citizens of India. So let us know first about our country, then we will be moving on to the next other countries. Okay. So now we will be learning about the greatness of India. So we all know India is one of the greatest country which is known worldwide. Everyone know worldwide. Why? Because our country is having a rich resources, rich kind of heritage, rich kind of culture and everything. So here we'll be knowing about our country India, which is also known as Bharat. What is meant by Bharat? Everyone will think of it. Okay, we are telling it's a name. Bharat means it is a name. No. What is meant by Bharat is shining like a sun. Means we are as a country radiancing so much of power in the whole world. We are occupying, as a population wise, we are occupying the second largest country in the world, as well as in the production of cotton. We are the second largest country to produce cotton. So we are having much production, much kind of radiance in the whole world, and we are also having a great place in compared to all other countries in the world. So now India is a subcontinent in the continent of Asia. We all know we have different continents. India lies under Asian continent. India lies under Asian continent. It is a subcontinent. Okay, India is called the subcontinent in the continent of Asia. Okay, India is the 5th largest country in the world, which is contributing very high, has a great contribution. That's why it is named as Bharat, because we are giving such kind of radiance to the whole world. And next comes India is having a population of around 135 crores. Okay, and it has a great history, culture, heritage, and huge resources. India is being a great source for many kind of cultures. Here we have India is a secular nation. What is meant by secularism? Secularism means there is no kind of religious differences. Every religion is equal in India. We have a diversified nature in our India, and we have different kind of resources. We have many physical features like Himalayas, northern plains, Deccan Plateau, as well as coastal lines. So here India is very predominant in having a great resources, and the soil of India is very fertile, which is known as alluvial soil, and it is very rich in production of many agricultural products. Okay, the alluvial soil is again divided into Khadar and Bhangar. Okay, there are two types of soil which comes from alluvial. Okay, Khadar is one kind of soil. Okay, and Bhangar is one kind of soil which also comes from alluvial soil. And next comes, we have Himalaya. So we have many resources in our country. We have many mineral resources. We have Himalayas. Again, the Himalayas has been divided into Himadri. Again, the Himalayas has been divided into Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks. And we have many natural vegetations. And we also have, as I told you, we have the most fertile soil. So this is what about the resources what we have. Okay, next we will go into why our country is known, why it is very rich in heritage, why it is very having rich culture. Why? Because we have great sages in our country. It is like many sages. They have contributed 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, and as well as many Upanishads, which has given a great, which acts as a basis for Hindu religion. So they have made, these sages have created a great contribution to the whole country's culture and heritage. And next time we'll talk about the books which has been epic books in India. So now we came to know about 2 books, which is Ramayana and Mahabharata, which makes us to learn how to live our lives as a human being. And next book is Bhagavad Gita, which is written by sage Vedavyasa. It is another book which has a great contribution given by the Veda Vyasa, and it clearly gives us the purpose of life and the essence of life. This Bhagavad Gita book clearly tells us what are the essence of a life and how to deal with the life, and that is what. So in next class we'll surely continue with other kind of what kind of front lines India is having, and we'll be continuing with the other factors and even also about different rulers, what their contribution and all these things. Stay home.